What's poppin', everybody? It's your girl Des, and I am back at it with another lit video. I'm so excited for today's video because it has been a long time since I last uploaded and talked to you guys, so I'm really excited to be here today. I'm gonna be doing my makeup with you guys, and for some reason the air vent is on in my restroom, so my apologies because I don't know how to turn it off. I think it's like automatic, so it should turn off any second, but that's what that noise is, so sorry about that. But yeah, I'm really excited for today's video. If y'all are excited for today's video, give it a thumbs up, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. So yeah, I'm just gonna start off by doing my eyebrows and chit-chatting with you guys. This is gonna be a really casual vid, you know, just catching up because it has been a long time since I last uploaded. So I thought about like, how am I gonna start this video, like where do I start? And because I know there's a lot of confusion, you know, I started YouTube when I was young. I remember like I wanted to start YouTube, but I was only 17 and I knew I wanted to make 420 content. So I kind of like I really wanted to start, but like I knew that I kind of had to wait until I was at least 18. But girl, I did not care. I was like, I'm gonna turn 18 in a couple months, babe. My birthday is in January, so it's like the beginning of the year. So in 2017, I ended up posting on YouTube, even though I wasn't supposed to because I was still 17. But you know, within a couple months, I turned 18, and turning 18 opened up a lot of opportunities for me. I actually got my first ever apartment when I was 18 years old out here in Los Angeles. So, you know, being now of age and then living in LA, and because I already, you know, grew my platform, it wasn't nothing crazy, but I think I had like, I don't know, maybe 200K on YouTube. Like I had a pretty decent amount. Honestly, I don't remember the exact number, but it was a good amount, you know. So like that's how I was able to get my apartment, because of your guys' support. So yeah. Then, you know, I was doing the 420, I was a 420 influencer, and I had been from, you know, that year up until this year, 2025. And it was probably in 2000, well, my grandpa passed away, unfortunately, I believe in 2023. And he passed away on a crazy day. Okay, y'all, it was, and I only have one grandpa, so my only grandpa, you know, so he meant the world to me. So losing him was really tough. He was also the first person close to me that I lost. So, you know, it was a lot. But the day that he passed away was so significant, because every year 420, April 20th was like a really big day for my career. Even the month of April was a big day for my career, because I'm a 420 influencer. So of course the holiday 420, all the brands, they want to, you know, sponsor you know, influencers to promote any deals they got going on and all that good stuff. So, you know, I had took down, y'all probably already know, but I took down all my old content, including my old podcasts. But I had a podcast from 420 the year before my grandpa passed, and I was like, I had titled the podcast like the best 420 I ever had. So every year I would look forward to 420. Like it was so fun. There, you know, that was the day that in LA I would end up with so much free product, and I would meet a lot of people because there was so many events going on that day. So every year 420 was like the best day ever, pretty much, you know, especially because like I was making a lot of money that month. Just so much good things was happening. So in 2023, when my grandpa passed away on 420, it really hit me hard because I was just like, dude, like, how am I supposed, you know, every year before 420 was literally the best day ever. And then for it to just now be the day that my grandpa is gone, like, girl, I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that everything happens for a reason. And, you know, before losing my grandpa, death didn't really feel like a big deal. It didn't feel like it was real, because I think that when we're living our lives, especially when we're healthy and life is going good, like, we don't think about losing a family member, or we don't think about death, or we don't think about like, oh my gosh, this might be the last time that I see you, you know, like, you're just living life. So it was a really big like wake up call for me, because I just realized that, oh shoot, like, life is very precious. You know, I learned that you can't take life for granted because tomorrow's not promised. And, you know, to cherish what you have, because you may not always have it. So those are like the lessons that I learned, you know, that year, dealing with the grief of losing my grandpa. And yeah, so I remember, like, I started to think about what happens when somebody passes away. Like, where do they go, right? And a lot of people believe that they go to heaven, and then, you know, obviously if you're a sinner, you go to HE double hockey stick. So I started to think about that, and I had no doubt in my mind that my grandpa is in heaven looking over me, because he was such a great man, such an awesome grandpa. He taught me how to swim, ride a bike, like, he taught me so much. So, you know, my dad was in and out of jail growing up, so my grandpa was really that father figure to me. So yeah, even talking about this is kind of hard. I'm sure you guys could tell, but let me do my eyebrows. Because I was thinking about what happens after death, it led me to opening up my Bible. I had already owned a Bible that I had bought from Amazon. I forgot like when I had bought it, but I had just randomly bought it, but I never read it. I never opened it. So when I was dealing with all the grief and trying to understand, you know, like, just everything, it led me to pick up my Bible, and I started to read it, and a lot of things just started to make sense. You know, I can't really explain to you guys fully like what I mean by that. I feel like if you've read the Bible, like, you just know that like things start to make sense the more that you learn about Jesus and the Bible and all that good stuff. So I started to realize that I was a sinner in many ways, and that if I continue to sin, that I was going to end up in HE double hockey stick, rather than end up in heaven where I will be reunited with my grandpa. And, you know, all I could think about was, I want to see my grandpa one day in heaven. So it was important to me to look myself in the mirror and really realize, what am I doing on this earth? You know, am I impacting people's lives in a positive way? Am I being a good sister, a good daughter, you know, to my family? Or am I being selfish? And I feel like I was honestly really selfish. I feel like I had a lot of resentment towards my family because of maybe something that happened when I was growing up. It was nothing too major. I just feel like I was just always like bitter and angry. And if you guys remember, I spent a lot of my time going on solo trips. I remember spending so much money to stay at these, you know, go to these beautiful locations, and I would go by myself. Like, I didn't want nobody with me. Like, I was super enjoying like my alone time, and that was great and all. I'm glad I did that. But then I realized I want my family here with me. You know, I was seeing beautiful views and experiencing beautiful memories, And I was just like, man, like it led me to realize like family is really important, you know, like I don't know, it just like I was grateful to be on the vacations that I took myself on, but I also was like, I don't know, like nowadays I'm over solo travel. I have no desire to solo travel anymore. If I have to, I will. But nowadays, the way my mentality is like I want to work twice as hard or however hard I have to work so that way I could splurge on taking a family member with me to travel with me, you know, rather than just going by myself. And at the time, it was so easy for me to make up excuses like, oh, well, you know, me and my family members don't get along, so we're not going to get along on vacation. And I would just use that as an excuse to not bring them along with me. I don't know, nowadays, I would just make way more of an effort to have my family go with me on vacation. And that's actually a goal of mine, is I want to take my family on vacation, or I want us to have a family vacation. We've never ever ever had a family vacation, so I think that would be super legendary if we have a family vacay. So that is one of my goals. But that's just like, I don't know, I feel like I'm not making sense right now, so sorry if I'm just like rambling. But I don't know, like I'm just trying to explain to you guys like how my mind started to slowly change, okay? Because my mind didn't change overnight. Like this took years. This was in, I'm talking about 2021. Oh wait, no, my bad, 2023. Okay, so that was 2 years ago. And so barely 2 years ago, my mind started to shift. My, like, you know, what was important to me back then is so different than what's important to me today. And I think it comes with maturity. When you mature, you know, you become wiser. I know it's easy to think that social media is just all about money and expensive things, nice cars, nice homes, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like I started to get really caught up in that like social climbing, LA vibes, like let me get my lips, boobs, veneers, hair extensions, going to the hair salon every week, going to get my nails done every 2 weeks. Like, okay, not every week hair salon, I'll go every 6 weeks, but you know, like I was on top of it. Like I was constantly getting my nails done, having the most extravagant nail set, always had the most longest extensions in my hair of highest quality. Like I was always, and like I thought that, oh, this is me loving myself, this is self-love. But really, maybe it was like a little bit, but I feel like I started to overdo it because like I was finding so much happiness in like, you know, doing all those beauty maintenance. Like nowadays, I give myself a little cute manicure. You know, nowadays I have my little clip-on pony from Amazon that costs $10. You know, like I still have extensions. I still do my nails, but I just do it at home now. You know, like, I don't know. I feel like being in the LA life and all that, and I don't want to blame it on LA because it's not just LA, but I feel like when you think of LA, you think of Hollywood, and like everybody in Hollywood is always, you know, trying to outdo each other. So like who has the biggest lips, who has the curviest waist, you know, like it's just very like a lot of people in LA are not happy. They're not. They're constantly going back to get more surgery, constantly going back to get more filler. Like they're like, that's just like the vibe out here is like, it's really like they make you, and by they I don't even know who they are, but I feel like society makes you think that you need like certain things, you know. I don't know. I feel like if you guys know what I'm trying to get at, you know. If you don't, sorry, I'm confusing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. So basically though, I had announced that I was going to quit getting lit, and guys, I started to lose followers quick. I had 130K on Instagram, maybe even like 140K. It was a decent amount. And I remember after my grandpa passed, I'm dealing with all this grief. I'm reading my Bible for the first time. I remember like I started to read the Bible for the first time, so I got really excited, like learning about God and the gospel, and I wanted to share it with, you know, my followers. So I started to post a little bit about it on my Instagram stories, and then I said that I was gonna take a break from getting lit, and I dropped followers within, as soon as I made that post, I dropped followers. And right now I probably have like 93K on Instagram. So that's how much I lost. But within that first post I made, I probably lost like 25K. So it was crazy to like go to seeing, you know, and then like even my DMs, so many people were DMing me mean things, really mean things, telling me that God isn't real, telling me that I'm a Jesus freak, telling me that they're like, what the heck did you go through to be like, you know, do your 360 change? And they were like, oh, you don't get lit anymore, well that's the only reason why I followed you, so now I'm gonna unfollow you. Like, so many people felt the need to let me know that they were unfollowing me. It's one thing for me to see the numbers drop, but then it's a whole nother thing for me to go to my DMs and it be filled with people telling me how they are disappointed because I'm changing. They're disappointed because they followed me for a particular reason, which was me getting lit, and like now they feel like, you know, like they lost a friend. Like, I don't know. And honestly, because I was so early on in my like starting to change era, it affected me a lot. So you know what I did? I went right back into my habits. I went right back into posting videos of me getting lit. I went right back to living how I was living because I knew I wanted to make a change, but then because it felt like I had no support. I'm sure there was a few of you guys who was, you know, supporting, but in that moment it did feel like the negativity was outweighing the positivity. So yeah, it's hard, you know, it's hard to change when everybody around you doesn't want you to change, when they love you for the person you are right now, but you don't love yourself for the person that you are, you know. It's just it's such a challenging, I mean, I think nothing good comes easy, so, you know, what did I expect? Of course it's not gonna be easy, but yeah, then I started to get a bunch of messages of people telling me that I'm confusing because one second I'm posting Bible verses, the next second I'm sparking up. So people were just like, girl, you're going to HE double hockey stick. I had so many people message me telling me, you're going to HE double hockey stick. Like, and so now it turned into me getting lit, and all I could think about was I'm going to HE double hockey stick, you know. So then now me getting lit, it wasn't really fun anymore, because now I'm like, every time I do get lit and I post, I get messages like, oh, I thought you quit, oh, you're so confusing, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna unfollow you because you're confusing, you're one way, you say one thing one day, then the next you're different. And honestly, this went on for probably those full 2 years, where yes, I will admit I was being wishy-washy. One second I would say, you know, I'm done with that, I'm putting that behind me, and then the next week I would legitimately be posting an ad of me getting lit, promoting a product. You know, I got paid for that, we got to keep the bills on. And so a lot of people were like, girl, you know, just bashing me, which like I understand some of it, but like also I don't think I deserved all of that, but like I guess. So I was just like, man, this is like not fun anymore. Like, it legitimately made my job not fun anymore. And I started to get hired to work events. Now I'm fast forwarding 2 years later. I live in LA now. I was living in San Diego for a while, I ended up moving. I moved a lot, okay? How I told you guys my first apartment was in LA. I moved a lot. I do not live in that same apartment in LA. I live in a completely different apartment, different part of LA. But yeah, within that time frame I moved a lot, but I don't want to tell you guys everything because that's like irrelevant. But fast forward to like last year when I had moved to this apartment in LA. LA brings lots of opportunities, you know, and that's a big reason why people like living out here. Yeah, it's traffic, parking's a bitch, like yes, it's expensive and you know it's a little overcrowded and all that, but people like living out here because there's lots of opportunity. So when I moved back out here last year during summer, a bunch of doors opened, but because I was still in this 420 industry, all the doors, most of the doors, not all of them, but most of the doors that opened were 420 related. There's a bunch of 420 events that happen all year long out here in LA. So I started to get opportunities to work these events as like a brand ambassador, and it was really fun. I was meeting really cool people, you know, getting free products. But I couldn't help it. But I'm not gonna lie, like these events are super fun. I would always vlog these events too. There is like, I probably, out of all the events that I've like vlogged and worked, I probably only uploaded like one video that is now taken down. And even in that one vlog, I had said like, I'm having really bad anxiety, like I kind of don't want to be here. And don't get me wrong, like the events were so fun and I couldn't understand like why I was feeling the way I was feeling, and this continued to happen for every event that I worked. Like 90% of the day would be amazing, super fun, but then there would be like a 10%, like a little piece of the day where like I don't know what it was, but something would just hit me where I just felt like I'm not meant to be here. I am not meant to be here. And I started to low-key crash out. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like I started to crash out. And it's like I couldn't crash out to the people that I was working with, because you know they hired me and this is how I pay my bills, and they're gonna be like, okay, this girl can't handle it, we're not gonna hire her no more, we're not gonna invite her no more. And I didn't want that to happen, so I would crash out like within my own brain. Like I would literally, sometimes I would even hop on like live and like start crashing out. Like it just like, I don't know, like looking back, I feel like it's because I knew deep down that I didn't belong there. You know, not even saying that that place was bad, but I just feel like I have a higher calling than to be a pretty face representing a brand, you know. Meanwhile, you know, this happens in a lot of jobs where, you know, you're down here, so you're making a little bit, you know, money hourly, whatever. But then of course, the company you're working for, you're probably bringing them in like way more money, right? That's just how it works. So like it was really inspiring because I was meeting like brand owners who are like doing big things in the industry. So I'm really grateful that I got to like build the relationships with the people that I did while I was attending these events. Like I want to make it really clear that it was nobody's fault. Like everybody was so nice to me at these events that I went to. That's why it made no sense why I was crashing out, because it's like, babe, like I'm getting treated really good, you know, like it just made no sense. Like, why are you crashing out? Like, what's wrong? Anybody else could have been in my position and would have been so happy to be getting paid to get lit and turn up at like a super fun event, you know. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I had a lot of fun. Like, majority of the day I would have a great time, but then there would just always be a moment where I would just kind of like realize, like, hold on, like I want to do something bigger, you know? Like just how like I see like the brand owners doing their big one, I'm like, I'm trying to be like you know? And I felt like me, you know, consuming all the products that I'm consuming, like I just feel like I'm legitimately losing brain cells. I feel like I'm getting dumber by the second. Like I'm just such a goofball when I'm lit. I'm like, I noticed that I would always bump into stuff when I'm lit, or I'm like always, you know, just being clumsy. And you know, like not being on my 10 toes. And I feel like if you're gonna be like someone big, like a millionaire, like you gotta be on your 10 toes, you know? So I don't know, I feel like I started to get like anxiety when I would be lit, because I feel like I just wasn't in my own headspace, you know? Like I went from being on my 10 toes, being super confident, being super aware, to all of a sudden I'm lit. Now I'm giggly and I don't even know what I'm giggling at, and I couldn't control my giggles. So on the outside looking in, it's like, girl, you're just laughing, having a good time. But like, I know that I'm meant to do more. You know, like God put me on this earth to do great things, not just to waste time being silly and a goofball. And like, yes, there's like, you know, like there's a time and place for everything. So I'm not saying like you have to be serious all the time, but like, I don't know, I just feel like I was just like it was, what makes it so hard too is in my industry, and I'm so blessed that all the brands that I work with, like they don't mind that I'm a little goofball. They enjoy it. They like my energy, you know? Like that's why I kept getting more and more opportunities to continue working these events, you know? So like from the outside looking in, like I was fine, but in my head, in my brain, in my body, I didn't feel fine. I felt low-key unfulfilled, you know, because there wasn't nothing wrong. Like everybody at the event was always so nice. All the brands that, you know, gave me an opportunity to work with them, like I'm so thankful and appreciative. Like I have nothing bad to say. And that's what made it really confusing for me, because I'm like, dude, like I have no reason to complain, you know? I only have reasons to be happy. How come I still don't feel, it's not like I wasn't feeling unhappy, I just didn't feel fulfilled. I didn't feel like proud of myself. You know, I would leave these events super lit with a goodie bag full of free products, and I would convince myself that I was happy, but then time would pass and I don't know, I just didn't feel it. I just didn't feel it. And there's a lot of opportunities that I got offered to work like more events, and I would say no. Even then, even with working with people that are amazing, people that I have good relationships with, I still just didn't feel fulfilled. Like I really felt like I was just a pretty face representing the brand, you know, and that's what it was. You're at the booth, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But also, I just don't think that's my purpose, you know? I just don't. And I understand stepping stools. Sometimes you're gonna have to do, you know, the scummy job or the job that doesn't pay a lot. But that could be your stepping stone. You know, you use that money you earn, you know, to invest or, you know, save up for maybe a car, so then you could start working at a different location where, you know, you'll get paid more. So it's not like I was ashamed for being this brand ambassador. You know, I understand. I'm gonna have to work, you know, I understand. I'm gonna have to work my way up. But that's the thing, is I was working these events and I continued to be in this industry and I wasn't leveling up. A lot of influencers who are 420 influencers, they have brands. They have brands, you know? Shout out to them. I know so many who they have their own, I can't say, but like D9, if you know what that stands for, or you know, like whatever it may be. Like a lot of them have like brands that sell product, right? So then I started to think, and I've actually gotten you know, brands who, I had meetings, in-person meetings out here in LA with brands in their office talking about how they wanted to partner with me to come out with a brand. But then the thought of coming out with product like a J or a Bleezy or Eddie's, you know, all that, it didn't feel right. It genuinely didn't feel right because I'm trying to read my Bible. I'm trying to get closer to God. I have people telling me, you're going to HE double hockey stick because you get lit. Now imagine if I create a brand and start selling and start promoting to people, hey, buy these products, hey, consume this, you know, like, I'm like, girl, that's just gonna get me, that's gonna lower my chances of getting into heaven. And I understand, hey, it's money, at least I'll be able to pay my bills, but I was like, ooh, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. I just like, and I want to make it clear too that I don't think that the 420 influencers who do sell product, I'm not trying to bash on them at all. If that's what makes them feel happy in life, so be it. But that's the thing about life, is you have to do what makes you happy, you know? So I just knew like that's not gonna make me happy. So I decided that I was just gonna quit completely. So yeah, I failed. I had many months within this past year where I thought I was done, and then I hung around a friend. A company gave me some free product, and then I would just fall back into my habit of getting lit. I knew that I was gonna be serious about this change when I continued to get brand deals and it no longer fulfilled me. Like, I would get brand deals to promote these 420 brands, and before I would film and I'd be so excited, you know, for the actual product that I was promoting. Like, there was like videos where like you could tell I was genuinely so excited to be like, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm, use my discount code, you know. But all of a sudden that changed. I no longer felt that enthusiasm. I no longer felt passionate about promoting these things to my audience. So I eventually stopped accepting brand deals from 420 companies. You know, no hate on any of the companies at all. I still really respect them, but also, am I a terrible person because I want to change? Like, I don't know. I feel like you could still have a lot of respect for people, and like I feel like I could still have a lot of respect for the industry. Like, I'll always have respect for the industry and all the big name brands and all the brands who gave me an opportunity and a chance to work with them and who was so nice to me. Like, the industry is such a loving place, honestly. Almost everyone I've met has been just super welcoming and nice and helpful, and that's what made it so hard to commit to this change, because it's like, man, I don't want to lose out on those friendships that I've built, you know. I don't want to have to start from scratch. Who wants to start from scratch? Guys, my nose is so itchy. I'm like, oh, I hate wearing makeup. I barely ever wear makeup nowadays because I don't know, it makes my face itch. Does anyone else have that problem? But yeah, y'all, it made me wanting to like remove myself from that industry a million times harder because of how much love I've gained for the industry and for everybody in the industry. You know, like, it's just so hard. So I started to decline brand deals, and I got a job at the club. I was not a bottle girl, I was the door girl. I ended up stopped working there because I don't have a car anymore, so I don't have, oh yeah, somebody crashed into my car, y'all. It was crazy. My car was parked and somebody totaled it. So yeah, lots of crazy things have been happening. Maybe I could do a separate story time about that, because I feel like there's a significant meaning behind my car getting wrecked. Well, actually, you know what, I'm gonna just share it here. Why make you guys wait for another video? So basically, I had a note that I had written in my notes app on my phone long before somebody recently crashed into it while it was parked. As I get closer to God and I read more of my Bible, I start to learn a lot of things, right? And I started to learn that I was idolizing a lot of things. A lot of people idolize a lot of things, and it is very known, says it all throughout the Bible, to not idolize anything else except for God. So I started to look at myself in the mirror. You know, when you're trying to change for the better, you really have to look in the mirror and like be real with yourself, you know, realize what is it do I have to change, you know, in order to prosper, in order to elevate. Basically, I realized I was idolizing my car. And I know that sounds so weird. Like, girl, how do you idolize your car? Well, I have a Mercedes-Benz. There had been a lot of moments people didn't think much of me, you know, especially being in LA. Like, I don't be dressing too crazy with designer and all that. I remember people didn't think much of me. They didn't really care about me. But then the second that they found out that, oh, I'm a YouTuber and I got all these followers, or the second that they seen me, you know, let's say we're waiting at valet, it's the event just ended, everybody's waiting for their car at valet, and then valet brings up my Mercedes, then all of a sudden all these people are like, oh my gosh, like, that's your car? Like, you know, there had been a lot of moments where I started to realize, like, oh shoot, like, you know, I'm looked at, I'm perceived a certain way once people know that I drive a specific type of car. And that fed my ego. That fed my ego. You know, I was just like, oh yeah, that's my car. Yeah, fed my ego. And I started to feel really cool in my car. Like, really cool. Like, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it's not like I was actually doing things, but just in my head. Just in my head. Now, guess what? The next time I was put in a position where, let's say, like, valet's pulling up with my car, then I would already know how the people around me would react. Because I remember experiencing it last time and seeing how everybody's shocked. So, and then, you know, kind of treated me a little bit better and was like, oh shoot, I see you, boo, I see you, you know? And so now I started to move with that assumption that, you know, and it worked, and it was true. People would see my car and they'd be like, oh, okay, Des, like that's you, oh shoot, you know? And I don't know how to explain it. It just fed my ego, and I don't feel like I'm fully explaining it correctly, but I just started to feel really cool about my car. Like, literally, like, I just felt like I was the SHIT because I drive this little Mercedes. Like, I don't know. So, you know what's so funny is when somebody crashed into my car, we were parked on the street, and the person was, I guess, trying to leave the parking space, and they thought that their car was in drive, so they were gonna pull out the parking, but instead it was in reverse, and my car was parked right behind them. So they go boom, and you know, my hood of my car is like tin foil, and you guys know what's at the front of every Mercedes is that big old Mercedes logo. That logo crumpled into a million pieces. And I was just like, OMG. Like, I feel like that is a significant, how I said earlier, like, I don't believe in coincidences. I feel like that was, like, the fact that the Mercedes, I had been low-key in a few accidents, okay? Living in LA, that's not the first time someone hits my car. This time was different because it was like the logo that got smushed into a million pieces. You know, there's no way of fixing that. You just have to replace it. And I remember looking at the logo and all the pieces, you know, all over the street, and I just remember thinking, like, this is like this means something deeper than what I realize right now. I know it. I knew it. I knew it. You know, when people say, like, oh, maybe this is a blessing in disguise, you just don't know it yet? I felt like that was, I don't know if it was a blessing in disguise, but I feel like it just had such a significant meaning that I couldn't even comprehend in that moment. you know, but I just knew that this means something that I don't know yet, but I know with time it will tell. And it did, because my note that I left on my phone was 100% correct. I was idolizing my car, you know, like it was on, like I knew I was idolizing my car, because let's say I was with a friend who had a Honda, and we were gonna go to like a restaurant where we valet, and she'd be like, do you want to go in my car? I'll pick you up. And then I would tell her like, oh no, let's go in my car, like, you know, just like thinking like, oh yeah, we'll look cooler if we pull up in the Benz. Like, girl, who cares? You're there to eat, like, you know, as long as you have a car, like, you good. Like, it really don't matter the brand or the logo. But because of me being in LA and seeing everybody's reaction to the logo, I started to believe that no, there is significant meaning behind that logo. Like, we'll get treated better, you know? And low-key, that's how it is in LA. You know, you go to a lot of these like places, like either valet or restaurants and stuff, and people at the restaurant will treat you better if they think that you're gonna give them a bigger tip because you make more money. You know what I mean? And if y'all ever like lived in LA and been in that like scene, you've probably felt like seen it firsthand. You know, I remember I had just moved to LA and I seen it like probably the first night I went out when I lived out here. Like, it's super clear that like it's just so, LA is full of people with really big egos, and I don't know, I feel like God needed to humble me. I feel like God was like, Dest, you gonna stay humble, okay? You ain't gonna turn into no, I don't even know. So yeah, basically, you guys, if you're wondering why I quit, it's because it's no longer serving me, honestly. Getting lit no longer serves me. I have a baby sister who one day is gonna watch my videos. She already started to watch my videos, so I'm glad that they're taken down now. So any videos she does watch is gonna be me not getting lit. I still love, you know, talking to you guys and having my platform. I just don't want it to be revolved around sin anymore. And so the other day I had posted a screenshot of a community post I made here on my YouTube channel because I had privated all my videos. But yeah, so basically I just couldn't take it anymore. You know, like doing all of this once made me so happy, and that's why I was doing it. And I'm so blessed that I was able to turn it into like my career, and you know, started to make a lot of income from getting lit. Like, how many people could say that they turned getting lit into a job? You know, like, not many people. So I'm very thankful. But just because, you know, that's what it was doesn't mean that's what it should be forever. You know, just how you have different seasons in your life, just how you have friends who come into your life, you guys are best friends, y'all create a meaningful, deep relationship, you guys tell each other all your secrets, and then one day you start to realize like, oh, kind of outgrowing the friendship. And then sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you end up, you know, not being friends with that person anymore. And it's not always because of something bad. Sometimes it's simply because it's time for a new season. Sometimes it's just time for the next chapter. Sometimes it's just outgrowing the friendship. So that's how I feel about 420 stuff, you know? Like, I don't think it's terrible, you know? Like, it once, you know, it's part of my story. It just no longer serves me, you know? It no longer serves me anymore. And I feel like it was starting to hold me back, actually, which is terrible. Like, you guys know, I had started to take Spanish classes in 2021, and I was taking them all these years. I just stopped this year, but so for like 3, almost 4 years, I was, you know, taking Spanish classes every week, sometimes twice a week. I had Spanish class, and I feel like because I was getting lit, oh my gosh, not my neck being a different color. You guys, I guess I got tan because now this foundation, well, it's actually concealer. It's this concealer, if y'all are wondering. I'm gonna have to get a tanner color because a girl got a tan. It is summer and I've been trying to spend time outside. But, oh my gosh, it's two different colors. It's okay. The bronzer. I just had to stop because it no longer serves me. Plain and simple. It's time that I just do other things, you know? I've always been the type, you guys probably know, like I'm always moving. Every year my lease is up, I'm always moving. And it's because I like change, you know? I don't like staying stagnant in one place. Like I love to constantly evolve, grow, learn. Like that's just my personality. So I'm not actually surprised that I want to change. It's like, I'm surprised that I didn't change sooner. And the only reason why I didn't change sooner is because I was making a lot of money doing what I was doing. You know, and that's such a blessing, but it just sucks because I ain't making that money no more. But I have faith that with my hard work, you know, like I'll be able to achieve everything my heart wants, you know. Even if I don't right away, it's gonna take time, you know. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose a bunch of followers, but I also have faith that I'm gonna gain a lot more followers, you know, maybe followers who align better with maybe this like new version of myself. I feel like I'm still the same Dest, but you know, just trying to be a little bit better. Yeah, I feel like I could be so much farther with my progress with learning Spanish if I wasn't lit every time I went to class. Like literally, I was always so lit when I went to class because I felt like I couldn't do anything sober. So I was doing everything lit. And to be honest, I damn near wasted all that time and money from taking Spanish classes all those years because I don't know, maybe you could say you're different, but I think that being lit, trying to like learn stuff, like especially a different language, like it's just like, girl, I was making it really hard for myself to like learn because how are you gonna learn when your brain is all foggy, you know? But I swore like I needed it. Like dude, I was at a point where I felt like I couldn't eat without it. There had been days where like I would drive down to San Diego and I felt like I couldn't, not my nose, just put a bunch of bronzer on my nose. Yeah, there was points where I felt like I could not make the 2-hour drive from LA to San Diego without getting lit. Like it was just like I couldn't really go any time without it. And honestly, like I don't want to say I was addicted, but honestly I kind of felt like an addict, you know, like I was giving addict behavior, like not being able to do anything without it. And let's be real, that's not cute. That's not cute. It's giving immature, it's giving weak, it's giving not even feminine, you know, getting lit that often. I'm trying to get into my feminine era, you know, be more cutesy, wifey material. And I feel like that's just not really giving feminine, cutesy, wifey material, you know, getting lit all the time. It's giving crackhead, it's giving addict, and it's giving no self-control. So, and also, I'm 25 now, okay? No regrets. I'm glad I did what I did while I was young, got it out my system. But now I'm ready to turn the page. I'm ready to start a new book. I'm ready to be a little uncomfortable, you know? That's another thing is like, I'm the type of person, like I have the type of personality where if I'm too comfortable, I'm like bored, you know? Like it's a blessing to be comfortable And I try to remind myself, like, be grateful, you know, because you're not always going to be comfortable. Like, there's going to be moments in life where you're uncomfortable and you're going to be like, dang it. So I have to remind myself to cherish the moments where I am bored, you know, but also I can't help it. Like, I can't stay in that comfortable, bored, like, I can't do it. Like, I need I need change, you know. I feel like if I'm not constantly evolving, then I'm just staying the same. And it's like, how do you expect to grow and be like a great person if you're not constantly evolving and changing? So I just feel like it was time for change, and I know it's gonna be so hard. And I actually created a Discord. If any of you guys are watching and you're like, oh my gosh, this is inspiring me to stop, or you've been thinking of stopping and you're like, maybe this is my sign, or, you know, maybe you already stopped, be sure to join the Discord. I made a new Discord called A Fresh Start. I'll leave the link down below for you guys in the description, because I want it to be a safe space for those who are on a journey similar to mine, where you're trying to break old habits, whether that be getting lit, vape, drink, lust, you know. I feel like health is wealth, and I'm only getting older, so it's like I better clock in and start taking my health seriously, because, you know, a lot of people say and argue that getting lit from getting 420 lit isn't bad for you, but the reality is smoking anything is not good for you, and depending on any substance is not healthy. So it's like I started to think to myself, when am I gonna stop? Is it gonna be when I end up in the hospital with lung issues, breathing problems? Is that gonna, you know, have me stop? I feel happier that I am changing. It's exciting, you know. It's hard, it's difficult, but it's also exciting, because finally it's something different, you know. Having to deal with my emotions and sometimes sit with them, rather than just immediately run to getting lit and trying to fog up my brain so I don't have to think about it. I just hope that this doesn't come off the wrong way, because I know how a lot of people like to get defensive. You know, the second that I had actually posted that screenshot to my story saying that I deleted all my content and I'm on a new journey, there were so many people who responded to that post, and they were being very defensive. Oh, but getting lit isn't bad for you. God put it on this earth for a reason. You know, all I said was I want to take my health seriously, because it's known that smoking anything is not good for you. Our lungs are not built for that, especially to be smoking the amount that I was. Girl, that is not healthy at all. I don't care what argument you make. And even then, I just don't, you know, and then, no offense, but also, I was looking at the people who are messaging me all those things, and you know that what everybody says, that one quote, don't take advice from somebody who is living a life that you don't want to live. You know, people love to tell you, do this, don't do that. But it's like, you're looking at them and you're like, I don't want to be anything like you. Why am I going to listen to you? You know, I'm sorry, but there was a lot of people messaging me telling me that getting lit is fine, and that I should continue to get lit. And I'm like, girl, taking a look at your profile, like I'm not inspired, you know. So I'm sorry, I'm not gonna listen to you. I tend to listen to people who I'm inspired by. People who I could see that, oh shoot, you're living a life that I want to live, you know, or maybe certain aspects of their life is like, ooh, I want to get closer to that, you know, like when I see people who are super fit, super lean, and they have like, you know, really toned, you know, abs and like, you know, like I'm inspired by that. I'm like, okay, give me some advice, you know, so that way I could get more lean and more fit. Like those are the, you know, like those are the people I want to listen to. People who I see them and how they're living their life and I'm like, ooh, yes. You know, those are the people I want to hear from. So you're not that kind of person. I ain't gonna listen to you. I'm sorry. This eyeliner is so good. It's by Kat Von D, the tattoo eyeliner. Girl, I'm not gonna talk because I gotta focus, but just look at how good this works. Look at how good. I think I'm only gonna do like a little half wing for a little natural look. I also just want to put out there that I know a lot of people are gonna tell me on this video, they're probably gonna comment saying good luck. And I just want to put out there that I don't believe in luck. Just how I don't believe in coincidences, I don't believe in luck. I believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that we are all exactly where we're supposed to be. I believe that everything is meant to happen the way it happens. And therefore, I don't believe in luck because it's not luck. It's destiny. It's fate. It's life. So I always say, instead of wishing me luck, send me blessings. So, because you guys know it is hard to quit, okay? I've stumbled many times in the past. So I do need your blessings, you know? I need all the blessings I could receive because when you want to change, it's not easy. It's not linear. So the difference between me quitting this time compared to any other time before this time, the difference is this time I actually have community, okay? I don't know for sure I'll have community, but I'm assuming that there'll be a few of you guys who are down to still be here supporting me despite my change. Some of you guys who maybe even want to join me on this new journey of change, you know, and that's why I created the Discord. Discord is completely free to join. And that's why I created it, because I've tried to quit before this time and I failed because I realized that I was doing it all alone. All of the friends I have right now, we all get lit. You are who you hang out with. I was a girl who got lit, so guess what? I found a community of people and built relationships and friendships with people who all get lit. And now that I'm trying to change that, it's difficult because a lot of the people around me get lit. So of course I would fall back into that habit. But this time, this is the first time that I'm trying to quit and I'm doing it publicly. You know, I guess I shared before, like on Instagram stories or Snapchats, you know, but this is the first time that I'm like making a YouTube video. This is the first time that I actually go and I delete all my old content of me getting lit. I've never done that in my entire history of doing YouTube. Have I ever deleted all my videos? So this is like really big for me. You know, I've been getting a lot of DMs of people telling me, girl, you do this every other week. Girl, you say you're gonna quit every other week. Girl, you swear. Girl, you swear. Okay, sure. Maybe I have. But like I said, the difference this time is I'm quitting and I'm building a community to who's gonna be with me, you know, so that way I don't have to be alone, because trying to do something alone is really hard, you know, especially when this is all I know. You know, all I know is getting lit. All I know is the 420 community. So it could feel really lonely trying to change, trying to better myself. But I know that there's people out there who are on a similar journey, even though it feels alone. I know I'm not. And like I said, that's why I made the Discord. So, and that's why I'm filming this video. So that way, I'm not alone, you know? And that way I could actually hopefully succeed at making a change, you know, and letting go of what needs to be let go of. I'm really excited for the Discord family, because community is key, and I feel like community, it's like we feel closer. There's a lot of people who are moms and they like to get lit because that was like their mommy break, but they're realizing that they don't need that, you know, and you know, the getting lit part. I'm gonna be super active in there, talking to you guys in there all day long, because it's like having your best friend, you know. Like, I don't really have a best friend. I know in the past when I've tried to quit, I had like random cravings, and I wish like I had somebody who I could call who could remind me that that's not actually what you want. It's just, you know, it's just what you're used to. You know, and yeah, so now it's super nice because now I have the community on Discord where I could message you guys like if I ever have a craving, or you know, I'm really sad or whatever I'm dealing with. And same with you guys, like I want you guys to be able to also talk in there, and for us to talk to each other. I want you guys to talk to each other, help each other. Like literally, I just want us to be a huge community, you know. And I also have sections in the chat in the Discord where it's like a section where you could share some gym motivation. I know today I sent like a little gym selfie I took. And then you could also, there's also another section that is like for food, so you could share like, you know, maybe some recipes or some photos of some food you'd be cooking, or even if you order out, whatever it may be. And then there's also a section for you know, motivational quotes, Bible verses, because sometimes whenever I am like struggling, you know, to not give in to any cravings I'm trying to let go of, reading certain quotes can, you know, be a good reminder for me to stay on track. Another section we have is music. Music has been a big helper in me quitting. I stopped listening to like normal music, because a lot of our music is actually demonic. A lot of our music is like that one SZA song, I just killed my ex. Like a lot of them just have like really dark meaning when you actually listen to the lyrics that you're singing, that, oh, I'm singing because it's so catchy and it's always on the radio, and every time I walk into the clothing department it's always playing. Yeah, I feel like and then like when I remember there's like these songs by Doja Cat, and it talks about how like just like really demonic stuff, like talking about cheating, talking about like how your best friend got with your man. And it's just like, then I feel like when you're like listening to these things, I feel like it's like subconsciously like sending you messages, and then now you start to think that your man might be cheating on you with your girlfriend. It's just like, and you may not realize it's just a song, but I don't know, it's just weird. I don't know how to explain it. I know I'm not explaining it well, but yeah, basically I realized that I don't want to be putting those messages in my mind, so I started to listen to non-secular music, which is just music that either praises the Lord or just talks about positive things like being happy. And you know, stay posted, because right after I'm done filming this, I'm actually gonna film a playlist video with all my non-secular music, just how I used to film my Hotbox Sesh, you know, playlist of the month, you know, my favorite SoundCloud rappers, whatever I used to film, all that. It's gonna kind of be like that, but it's gonna be obviously different because I'm going to be playing non-secular music. So yeah, because the non-secular music, it's just so beautiful. Like I love, like I be singing my heart out, like, and like I just love it. So I'm excited for y'all to watch that video next. and let me know if y'all are excited for that. And let me know what other videos you guys want to see from me that is obviously not getting lit. Those more positive songs that have positive messages behind them has helped me so much with my journey of trying to quit. So yeah, we have a section for that in Discord. We also have a section that is called positive distractions, and for us, I want us all to basically share any positive distractions that we do. I've seen some people said like spending time with their pets, taking their dogs on walks. Some people said spending time in nature. So it's just really cool because, you know, if I didn't have Discord and I'm just trying to change by myself, it's so hard because it's like, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't know, you know? But then it's like, cool, now I could go to Discord and I could go to that section whenever I find myself having some free time. And then sometimes that free time turns into boredom, and sometimes boredom turns into you wanting to fall back into old habits. So instead of doing that, that's when I go on my phone, open up Discord, check out the positive distractions tab, and I see what people are talking about. So that way it can maybe inspire me to want to go out in nature. You know, I know that when I see pictures of people in nature and they're like, yeah, this is how I like to spend, you know, my time, you know, as a positive distraction. That literally motivated me. I was like, dude, like I need to go on a hike, you know? So the Discord is definitely a safe space if you guys would like to join. The link will be down below. Like, I love this lip liner. It's only $5. Yeah, look, literally, I have 3 of them in just this makeup bag. So, yeah, I'm obsessed. It's called Nude X, and the color is Always Extra. It's from Beauty Creations. And it's only $5. So I'm gonna line my lips with that. So cute. And then for gloss, this one I've been loving. This one is from Revlon, called Spice. It's the Juicy Peptide Lip Balm. I also really like the formula. It's just very hydrating, not sticky. Super cute! The lips are a little dramatic, but throughout the day, it'll come off a little bit. Ooh, y'all, that's the makeup look. I didn't even curl my eyelashes. That concludes this makeup look. What do I see for the future of this? Whatever God has planned for me, baby. I'm ready to go through it. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let's live life. Life is full of ups and downs, and I'm ready to experience it all. You know, because there's beauty in the struggle. There's beauty in going through the mud. There's beauty in starting over. Don't be afraid to live your best life, even if that means changing, even if that means losing people. You know, just know that you'll be okay. You know, it took me so long to get to this point where and by this point I mean like ready for change. Like, yes, it's gonna be hard to change, but back then, like, I wanted change, but I also wanted, you know, to stay in my same old habits because that's just what I'm used to. I wanted like both, you know, because what I'm used to is what's comfortable, but then change is like, I don't know, I just want to change too, you know. Nowadays, I want the change more than anything else. You know, like, of course there's a part of me that is like wants to, I guess, stay in that comfort zone of, you know, but it's like, nah, I want change more. And it took a long time to get to this point. I wish I was at this point a year ago, because then I would be so much further than I am right now. But it's all good, better late than never. And yeah, I'm just ready to experience whatever life is gonna throw at me. It's gonna be, I'm sure there's gonna be some tears. I'm sure there's gonna be some heartbreak, everything. But I just pray that, you know, I'm able to lift myself back up and not let any of those hard times keep me down. You know, life is full of ups and downs. We're gonna come down sometimes, but I have faith that I'll come back up 10 times higher, you know? Always gonna just prosper. The only way that you won't prosper is if you stay the same. If you're ready for change, join the Discord down below. I love you guys so much. Thank you for rocking with me. To the people who are, you know, down to continue supporting me, I love you, I appreciate you, and I will see y'all in my next video. Double deuce until next time.